guys, my name's Grace, back with another video. Sorry it's been a minute. I discovered that adults can get strep throat. That sounds like a really stupid thing to say, but I always thought it was only kids that like get strep throat. And then I was planning to do a bunch of reactions and my illness stopped that from happening. But anyways, I think I'm past the point of reacting to the actual music video and song of OMG by NewJeans, but I want to react to the dance. I still haven't listened to the song fully, but I've seen like content about it at this point. They're fun little hats and like, oh my god. Sorry, that my dog. Alrighty, so I have the dance practice for OMG up right now. It's the fixed version. Those are the best dance practices to actually watch to see the dance. There's a whole trend of like the moving fancy dance practices, and then when I try to learn something, I'm like, no, stop moving. But yeah, I have the fixed version right now, and let's get into it. If you are familiar with me or my channel, you know that I love NewJeans, even though I didn't like love Ditto as a song. I loved their debut and I love their style. They're just super unique. So I'm really excited to see in full what Ditto has.
You know that it's about you, baby. Only you. 내가 힘들 때 울 것 같을 때 기억도 이제 하지 않을 때.
So what's interesting about NewJeans is that they actually, well, first of all, I want to talk about how they incorporate like an element of acting into their dances. So like attention, yeah, it's attention, where they're like having conversations at the beginning and like walking past each other, and that's like they're pantomiming. That's an acting element that you don't really see a lot of in K-pop choreography, where it's like actually miming real life activities, like talking to your friends. I mean, another group I can think of that did that was Weekly with After School, but with like their chairs and their cell phones and their skateboards and stuff, but that's not a super common thing you see. Another thing about NewJeans is that they have like really unique style to their dancing, to their choreographies. They include a lot of like pure hip hop technique, and like you don't see that a lot, especially within girl groups. K-pop kind of has its own genre of dance right now, where it's a combination of a lot of different classical styles and like contemporary, not contemporary in terms of the dance style, but contemporary in terms of like time period dance styles. So K-pop style dance is normally an amalgamation of a lot of different techniques, where NewJeans keeps it very pure hip hop. And their choreographer is so good at giving them point dances that are recognizable and catchy. Like that's one of the biggest things about K-pop. That's how their dances are designed. They have these point dances that are easily recognizable, and like fans can learn them and participate in them. And sometimes when like a K-pop dance is not super recognizable, it doesn't take off as much. But NewJeans, I would argue one of the reasons that like Attention went viral is because of the dance. They like drop it low and then whoop whoop. attention. Like, we all saw it, we were there for it. And then like Hype Boy, this whole thing, like everybody is super recognizable. And this now, oh my god, it's like that's a strength that NewJeans has. And they just have such a unique style to their choreography. This is a catchy song. And it's like, you can see that they tried to make the chorus catchy because they're doing a lot of more complicated steps throughout the verses, but the actual chorus of the dance, they really move to a simpler style of movement. And just like marketing wise, that's to get fans who are like not trained dancers able to do dances too. They are great dancers. But you also notice like what they wear when they perform does not really, like, wow, does not. What they wear when they perform certain songs really lends to the style of dance. You notice they're wearing extremely baggy clothing here. When you're doing this style of hip hop where like it's more, I'm not trained in hip hop, so I don't have the actual vocabulary, but like I can talk about like what's happening like anatomically, like where it's a smoother style, there's not as much popping and locking, where it's like harder accents that are included in like other genres of hip hop. This is a much more fluid and like groovy style of hip hop. And when you wear like baggy clothing, it hides the harsh lines that your joints can make. So like your elbows, or like where your like shoulder makes a 90-degree angle, or like it kind of blurs the lines of where your joints are and where your body's in. And it really kind of, when you're wearing this baggier style of clothing, it creates an image for the dancer that's it works with the style of movement a lot better than, say, if they were wearing like short sleeve t-shirts or tank tops or like shorts or skirts or something, where you can see very clearly their limbs. And they did that a lot with Attention and Hype Boy, where they were wearing these like baggier clothes. But then you saw with their song Cookie, they'd be wearing shorts and stuff, but it was a very different style of dance in Cookie, where, you know, like stylistically, if you saw like their knees bending or their elbows bending, it wouldn't like break the aesthetic of the movement. So even like the way they dress is, it really lends to their kind of unique style that they're bringing. That was a fun little boom 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 move down to the ground. That was fun. And the thing about NewJeans is that here's all this acting again, which is so much fun. Like, that's so much fun that they include that in their work. Yes! It's so much fun. But the thing about NewJeans is they're not necessarily like creating a new genre within the world of music and dance, but they're bringing a much purer form of like late 90s, early 2000s hip hop to the K-pop scene. Like I said earlier, in terms of K-pop dance, in terms of like K-pop music tends to be an amalgamation of a lot of different influences. And just like the history of K-pop, there was a lot of like influence from African American styles of music in 80s and 90s that then, you know, as Korean companies produced their own, it like tweaked and evolved the like Black American music for the Korean market, and then it naturally evolved into like what we know as K-pop, where NewJeans I think is taking a much more true to form approach to K-pop, and that's why in terms of the K-pop industry they seem very unique. They are unique in the K-pop industry, but like they're like returning to form and kind of going back to like the pure form of like late 90s early 2000s hip hop, and it's just something we haven't really seen in the K-pop industry before, and I think it's super interesting to see, especially now that we're like, what year is it, 2023? Oh god, I'm so old. It's 2023, and you know, it's been 2 decades or more since this type of music was being produced regularly, and it's just interesting that it's coming out now, especially from a group of girls that are so young. It's like, ugh, they dance so well. And I also think what works with their music is, I was thinking about this when I heard like a snippet of this song the other day. I was like, oh, I really like that. And I was also thinking, I was like, oh, like maybe if another group released this song, people would consider it like boring because there's not really a lot happening in it. And I think that's also the case for some of their other music. Like there's not like a lot of high notes. There's not like really intense layering of sounds in the instrumental, where there's like a lot happening behind their voices. Like there's not like heavy beat drops or like a lot of experimental noise happening. So like if another group were to release this song, it might be considered boring by like the general K-pop community. But what I think makes it work for NewJeans is that they have a color in their voices that it's not super common. Like I'm also not trained in vocals, but like, and I know falsetto is for men, but whatever they call the female equivalent falsetto, where it's like up here and it's like not actually their voice, like here, I know there's chest voice, head voice, whatever, they use a tone that it sounds like they're using their chest voice, they're using what they really sound like, whereas a lot of other like especially female K-pop groups tend to have like a more nasally or a much higher voice, that it would make a song like this, where there's not really a lot happening, it would make it sound a lot more subdued, because there's not that same like chesty color in the voice that NewJeans brings. So the way their songs are designed and the way that their voices are used in the songs, it really, really makes it work. And I said this in my Ditto reaction, where they have like a girl next door kind of image without being like the innocent girl next door that we saw with like it's like Christian girl K-pop with like 2015 G-Friend and like Berry Good's debut, like where they were like innocent schoolgirl kind of girl next door, like where NewJeans is like girl next door kind of realistic. They seem like real people. And that was the whole thing when they debut with like black hair, like all of them had long black hair, like in like a lot of Korean schools you're not allowed to dye your hair, and it's like they seemed much more real, but in a way where it wasn't like this is the innocent girl you meet in your like church, or like the perfect image of the innocent girl you want to bring home to mom. Like these are the girls that like you would like see outside, like hanging out at the park, like talking to each other, like hanging out the way that like real teenage girls do, and like acting the way that real teenage girls do. So they seem very realistic, and it really, really works for their image. each having like an ending fairy moment. Have fun. Okay. I love NewJeans. Like, I have said a lot of things in this video about what works for them, and I can't even remember all of it, but I said a lot, and I know the industry is like in love with them right now, and I pray to God what happened to IVE and what happened to Blackpink and what happens to every other girl group when they debut, after a few months, like, they get a hate train. I really hope that doesn't happen. Like, it happened with IVE. Like, they debuted and everyone was obsessed with them, so excited, and then like people started hating them out of nowhere. Like, what? People need to calm down. Like, it's not that serious. But we're in the stage right now where everybody loves NewJeans, and I think that has something to do with the fact that they're like super attainable, and like they seem relatable, and they seem attainable in the sense where they feel like real people, where like I'll compare them to IVE, where IVE has this image of like perfection. Like, they kind of rise above everybody else with this like, obviously like having Wonyoung helps, where she's considered like this out of world beauty, like ethereal kind of thing. But their concept also is this, like, we saw it with like as soon as they came out with 11, where it was kind of like elegant and like above the reality of teenage girls. And then of course we saw it with Love Dive, where they were like heavenly, and it's like referencing Greek mythology, and like where NewJeans, and like that works for IVE, and that's their concept. Like, they're above the norm of teenage girls, and like above the norm of like what regular people look like, and that's their concept. Like, they exceed expectations, where NewJeans, they seem relatable. Like, they seem like real people, and I think that's what's really drawing about NewJeans, and I think that's something that makes them really unique, where a lot of the concept of K-pop is that the idols are perfect and they exceed all expectations for like what a human being can do and what they can be and blah blah blah, where NewJeans to me seem much more realistic, and their like concept really wraps that up into like one package. So yeah, I mean, I'm late to OMG, but let me know what you guys think of OMG, both the song and the dance, in the comment section down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.